Welcome to my Brother's Keeper podcast. This is your host, Courtney Foster and Brian Payne.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Yo, Courtney Foster.
And I'm your co-host, Brian Payne, and we are my
brother's keepers.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, brother. How was your week so far?
I can't complain, man. We inching closer and closer to Friday.
Yeah, we inching closer and closer to Friday. They say today is hump day. Today is that what they say. Today is hump day. We got something to get them over the hump today.
We got something real nice for them today.
Yeah, we got something to get y'all over the hump today. So if you're driving in the car, if you're at home, if you're cooking, whatever you got going on, we got a special treat for you all this Wednesday to get you over the hump. That's what we want to do. We want to get you over the hump today. So I hope everybody is feeling well. Is it all right to go ahead and get this party started, Brian?
Yeah, let's get it cracking.
Let's go ahead and get it cracking real quick. Let's see. Let's add it to the stage. All right. You already know this is My Brother's Keepers podcast, and we're building legacy through brotherhood. Yes. Building legacy through brotherhood. And one part of this legacy is highlighting ordinary people that's doing extraordinary things. And today is another testament of that. An ordinary person doing extraordinary things. And he comes second week in a row, and we're excited to welcome him to the platform. How you feeling, Brian?
I'm pretty good, man. Ready to get this thing jumped off.
All right. So for those who wasn't here last week, we had a gentleman by the name of John D. Smith who came and just blew our mind on just some practical tips and tricks on how to navigate the financial stratosphere of your life, right? How one small decision today can put you in the driver's seat for your financial future. And today he's going to continue that conversation with the stop doing list. I know some of you all was like, what is the stop doing list? Just hold on a little while longer. He's going to break that down. But for the sake of context, let me go ahead and reintroduce our guest for today. Mr. John D. Smith is a business and wealth strategy speaker with over 40 years of experience in sales, marketing, real estate, and investing. Having navigated multiple market cycles, including rebuilding during the 2007-2008 financial crisis, John brings a practical, battle-tested approach to leadership, resilience, and smart decision-making. He has represented over 400 owners and worked with investors and professionals at every stage, building system-driven businesses rooted in discipline, communication, and strategy. A former college athlete, John carries a competitive mindset that shapes how he teaches, grows, and succeeds. John speaks to high schools, colleges, business groups, and professional organizations through keynotes, workshops, live podcasts, and coaching. He is also a co-author of 2 real estate books and a 3-time Circle of Honor Award recipient. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome to the My Brother's Keeper podcast platform, Mr. John D. Smith. Clap it up for him.
Yes, sir.
You're back. You're back.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. It's great to be back with you guys again. What a treat. What a privilege.
Absolutely. Now, last week you were clean. Now this week you're super clean. I see you got the nice fit up, the peak up under the blazer. You're looking sharp, John.
Thank you.
Looking good.
I know I'm hanging with rarefied air in terms of company. So I got at least, fake it till I make it, till I get to you guys level, okay? You guys are setting the bar up there, so I'm trying to climb up that ladder to get to your level, okay?
I love it. I love it. Well, we thank you for coming back yet again to share some of that knowledge, some of that 40 years of experience that you have with the people. We're excited to get get into this stop doing list. I need to figure out what I need to stop doing. That's what we're gonna figure out today.
There you go.
So the floor is yours. We're excited. We're here. We're at your service, and let's have some fun.
Great.
That's it.
I know we've got a limited amount of time, so as we discuss, Courtney, what might be appropriate for the listeners, if it's okay with you and Brian, is maybe I'll do a quick recap.
Okay.
As to some of the, I know we covered a ton.
Yes, we did.
Last week. So, Brian, Courtney, if it's okay with you, I'll do a quick 5 minutes or so recap.
Yeah,
And then we'll charge right into the stop doing list. Is that okay with you, gentlemen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's fine. After the recap, can we gauge to see if there's any questions?
Absolutely.
And maybe take a question or two during that time, and then you can get into that. We'll just gauge it. If there's any questions, we'll get those questions. If not, you'll just keep moving.
Terrific
All
idea.
right. Sounds
Okay,
good. All right.
So we discussed, starting last week, developing a financial future regardless of where you're at currently, whether you're in college, you're out of college, you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Everybody here can do that. Everybody here can do it. I guarantee it can happen, and it can happen in a huge way. If two things, if number one, you just get started, and number two, if you stay with it. So let's do this. Thank you for the agenda here, Courtney. I put together a little recap of what we discussed last week. So the number one item here I'm going to bring up is the 10% rule. So whatever line of work we're in, whatever we're doing currently, whatever level of income we're at, you want to take 10% of what you make each week or each month and invest that. The 10% rule. So if you're in your 20s, your 30s, even your 40s, and you can commit whatever line, I don't care if we, cut lawns, bus tables, janitorial work, whatever the most nominal waged occupation you can think of is, because it's all good. And we've all done all that kind of stuff at some point. Take 10% of your income and plan to invest that each week. You're going to do phenomenally well if you give it a few years. Okay. That's number one. Number two is you want to pay yourself first. So if you get X amount on your paycheck, if you get hourly or salary, or even if you get commission, like I'm a salesman, so I live on commission. You want to take that income and pay yourself first. So we can talk about, what's reasonable, but 10% is a good number. So you don't want to pay all your monthly bills first and all your expenses first, and then hope there's enough left to invest a little bit at the tail end. No, just the opposite. You want to pay yourself first.
That's good.
So like we said last week, whatever increment you're comfortable with, and you want to push yourself here a little bit. So if somebody makes, $1,000 a week, start with $100. If they make $500 a week, start with $50. And you got to put that into your account first and foremost each week. The day you get paid, that's your benchmark. The day you get paid, the first thing you do when you get home from work is put that contribution into your account. And I can show you and explain to you anytime how to get it started. And it's so simple. You're talking 5-10 minutes a week. 5 minutes a week to make that deposit, make that contribution, and it'll set up your whole future. I promise it will. Okay. Now, number 3, you've got to commit to doing this every single week. You can't do it a couple weeks, a few weeks, and then stop, and then pick it up again in 6 months and hope for the same impact. If you stay with this every single week, the results will be enormous at whatever level you're currently at, because you're going to give yourself time and put time into your favor rather than, waiting too many long years go by and then you're trying to play catch up. Okay. We talked a lot about blue chip stocks last week. These are big behemoth companies, Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America, Coca-Cola, that have been around for decades, that do hundreds of millions of dollars a year in business. And these companies have progressively gone steady up higher with their stock performance each and every year. So here's a synopsis of what this means for people that are still brand new to even listening about stocks and how it works. You get paid to own these shares of stock in the form of dividends. Then you get a raise every year for doing absolutely nothing through the compounding of these dividends you receive. So when I first heard that, I really like the sound of that. You get paid for owning these shares of stock because you're now a part owner of these companies when you own publicly traded shares. So you get paid for owning it in the form of dividends. And then you get a raise every year for doing absolutely nothing. I was like, put me in, coach, when I first heard that. Then if you keep adding to that, it gets crazy fun. So then, like Courtney and I were saying, you start slow, you gain momentum, and then whoosh, it goes way up. And I'm going to borrow Courtney's term again because it is so perfect for this discussion. You start a snowballing effect. You start it, and you want that snowball to be able to run as long and far as it possibly can. And then that snowball is going to get gigantic. That's the idea. Okay. Now, I got a question here for everybody in the audience. Does anybody here know how to lose $10,000? How's that for a question? Does anybody here know how to lose $10,000? Well, how about this? And if you're taking notes, this is a great side discussion you all can have. Call me about it if you want to discuss it. How do you lose $10,000? $27.40 a day. Write that number down if you have a pen and paper.
I'm putting it in the chat, John. I'm putting it as you're talking. I'm putting the notes in the chat.
How do you lose $10,000? So $27.40 a day times 365 days in a full year is $10,000. I did the math. Go ahead, use your calculator. You guys are quicker on these things than I am, but that's $10,000. So the point there being, in bad habits, in habits that we're not paying any mind to every day, every week, every month, how fast money that should be in our possession and in our investments just slips right through our fingertips. I mean, $27, that's like, I took my son out to Zaxby's the other night for a quick bite to eat. My wife was out of town, and I think we spent $23 or $24 on next to nothing.
It's easy,
so
John.
$27.40 a day. Every day is $10,000. Now times that by 10 years. That's $100,000. So in 10 years, that could have been what I call two doubles. 100 could have gone to 200, 200 could have gone to 400 if it was invested properly. So it's a different world now.
That's fair.
That number just that hit me like a sledgehammer. I don't know how that resonates with you guys, but how to lose $10,000, and then it's times where it gets really big. The last point I'll have here, and then we'll see if there's any questions for Courtney, is number 6, the number one ingredient for success. And we talked about a lot of different things last week. The number one ingredient for success in any walk of life, let alone investing, let alone whatever career path you're on or whatever career you're already well established in, is not how many degrees we have or what our income is or what our job title is, or how long we've been working at a certain career is. It's your communication skills. The better your communication skills are, the farther you're going to go in your adult life. And that's been proven, countless times. It's not how many trophies or how many awards or where you live or, what your possessions are. None of that means anything. Your communication skills are the number one ingredient for big success. So anyway, okay, Courtney, any questions thus far? We were going to go on.
Yeah. Let me lob it up. Any questions for John before he begins the next topic? I just put it in the chat. And while we're waiting, I must say, when you talked about the $27.40 a day, I did the math and it came up to 10,000. And I'm literally thinking about this so far this year. We're in May.
Yeah.
And I can think every single day, and I'm guilty of, if it's not $27, it's close to $27 that I probably spend on stuff that I don't need.
Yep.
Right. Whether that's whether I decide to go to Chick-fil-A versus cooking in the house, whether I make an impulse purchase at the grocery store. You have your list to get 3 things, you come home with 10 things. Yeah. Right. You just go into the mall, just quote unquote window shopping, and you see something on sale that you're probably not going to wear. You just buy it. So that $27 is so easy to spend. And then you don't think about it on a day scale, but on a year scale, you took $10,000. You invest that $10,000. We're having a different conversation. So that mindset shift is so important and so foundational with building wealth. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem at all.
I think we can keep moving. If there's any questions, I'll pump the brakes on my end, but I think we're good right now. Yes, sir.
All right. Why don't we move forward, and then just stop me at any time and feel free. Right. Questions, comments. The next order of business is the main topic tonight. Now, this is thank you, Courtney.
Yep.
The stop doing list. I hope everybody here can hear me loud and clear, because this is a big topic. I literally, to sales groups, sales organizations, real estate groups, which I'm a part of, I've gone 2 hours on this next topic. And it's effective to everybody in this discussion, but in different ways, if you give this some thought. So about 3 years ago, it dawned on me. Have you ever noticed, especially when you're around the holidays and right after the holidays, what does everybody come up with? They have new goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, a new to-do list, another list of goals lists, goals. All well-intended, okay? And people all the time come up with, okay, I've got to revamp my goals, and I've got another to-do list. Have you ever noticed that very, very few of those to-do lists or those new goals lists ever get done or ever get finished? Well, I think there's several things working there, but just off the top of our head for discussion points here, there's too many goals, okay? And nowadays, in speaking in terms of to college students, the younger crowd, there's so many distractions and disruptions and interruptions and what I call shiny toys out there. It's really hard to keep focused for all of us on what we should be focusing on each and every day. So I came up with a little theory here. Instead of making another list or adding to this list and another to-do list seemingly never gets completed or never gets done, why don't we say time out and stop for a minute and create a list of things we shouldn't be doing? let's look at this in reversed. Now, number one, we're going to eliminate all non-productive activities. And each and every one of us are guilty of some of these things. It's just to what degree, right? We're all guilty of some of these things. And we'll keep this lighthearted, and I'm going to go through this fairly quickly here. But number one, eliminate all non-productive ideas. Number two, immediately make a list and be totally honest with yourself of things you can think of right now off the top of your head that you're doing way too much of, and it's just getting in the way and interfering with more productive and more important things that you could or should be doing. And like I say, I'm as guilty as anybody. I'm a sports guy, so I got to get my scores every day. I got to check my stocks every day. I'm in touch with a lot of business people and real estate people, so I'm scrolling on my phone more than I probably should. So we're all guilty of those kinds of things. So you want to make a list and be totally honest with yourself of all the things you shouldn't be doing. Watching too much television of stuff we shouldn't be watching. That's just counterproductive. We're in a store in the middle of the afternoon where we could be making more calls or doing more research and doing some productive reading, things of that nature. So anything you can think of, whether it's 2 things or 200 things, make a list and be as honest as you possibly can with yourself of things you shouldn't be doing. And that's a starting point. Now, think about this. Item number 3. Now I want you to come back knowing your day-to-day routines and create a list of your top 5 most important activities that you should be doing every day or every week. They're critical to what you do on a day-to-day basis. Now, this is less is more. So if you can only come up with 3 or 4, that's better than 5. But if you can come up with 5, stop right there. 5 productive things. Okay? Making sense so far? Show of hands? Okay. Now
we're good. We're following along.
Now, take those 5 things, if you can get to 5, and turn right around, and I want you to rank them in the order of importance. So I'll give you an example. I'm a salesman. I have been my whole life. When you're in sales, there's 2 things that better be, if they're not at the top of my list of important things to do, they better be right near the top, and that's lead generating and prospecting for new clients. And that's a year-round thing that should never, ever stop. That's the gasoline that starts the car, as we say when you're in sales. So rank in the order of importance the top 5 things you should be doing. Okay? Now, there's a little bit of a science to that, but we're just trying to get this ball rolling here. Okay? Now, take a typical day. You go to work in the morning, whatever your responsibilities are, and you're doing all morning long your part of your, or if not all 5 of your most important responsibilities. So then you get to midday, you take a lunch break, and you go back to what your typical duties are. This is where most people start to stray, and they start losing focus, and I'm scrolling on my phone too long. I'm on the phone too long, making or taking unnecessary phone calls. I'm somewhere where I shouldn't be. You get it. Okay. You get it. And we're all guilty of, kind of drifting from time to time. So instead of letting yourself drift, you go right back to that top of that list of the 5 most important things. You don't. So what we're trying to do here is keep you between the curves and being laser focused that what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. Not out here and not out there. And just don't let these shiny objects and all these things that are out there nowadays get in your way. And this is a difficult task because internet, social media, now it's AI. Now you got these things that are constantly in our ear. Text, calls, voicemails, emails, all day long. Okay? So there is so many distractions Instead of being like this, we want to be laser focused right down the middle here. Okay? Now, you want to be number 5. You want to be a magnet to your top 2 activities. So in most lines of work, whether you're a manager, okay, or whether you're an administrator, or whether you're a teacher or a coach, or whether you work in an office, there's usually 1 or 2 top things that really establish your position. Become a magnet to those. So when in doubt, go back to those top 2 things. When in doubt, those are the things that are most important to your day-to-day routines. Now, what happens is I have salespeople that have taken on this exercise here, and within 90 days, their sales have gone up 50, 60, 80% because they're like clearing out their closet of all the unnecessary nonsense, and they're focusing on what they should be. And just with a little bit of change of focus and attention, their productivity is going through the roof without it even realizing it. It's really cool to watch. Okay? Now, the next thing is a much longer discussion, but I'm just going to kind of mention it here. Begin to track your activities. Begin to track your activities. So it's easy for me. Again, I'm in sales. I track my calls. I track my appointments. I track my prospects. I track my new accounts. I track, being in real estate, how many closings, where did they come from? There's a lot of things I can track. And each and every one of us on this call, okay, can track your activities as to what you're doing on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis to see if you're focusing on what you should be and you're not straying, okay? Okay. Number 7. This is the most important of anything on here. Just say no. The most successful people in this world, and you can read in any number of books you want to refer to, will tell you, the most successful people in this world are the ones that say no the most, because they only concentrate on what they need to and should be focusing on. If you keep getting dragged into phone calls and text exchanges and social media exchanges and things that are unnecessary, you're in quicksand, and you're going to have a hard time getting out of that quicksand. The people that say no the most are the ones that win the biggest, because they've got that discipline, okay? Each and every day. Okay. Now, 15 minutes a day, number 8. This leads to our next topic that we touched on a little bit last week, called time lost. Remember, I did all the studies and all the calculations here. We'll get to this one in a second, Courtney. But
yep, we remember that.
Take 15 minutes a day and add that over a week, a month, a year, as to how much time you've lost. It's staggering. And people don't give it a whole lot of thought. And I'm guilty. I got to watch my ball games, and the basketball playoffs are on now. I'm a big Pistons fan, and, everything else. But you got to set limitations, and you got to set boundaries. Not minutes, but hours go by. Then days and weeks go by, and holy mackerel. If you're a student, there goes half a semester. If you're a coach, there goes half a season. We could have been working on these 3 things, but we let the time slip away. Any way you want to gauge this, okay? What I like to do is, I mentioned 15 minutes on this flyer here, with just how catastrophic just a little 15 minutes a day can be over like a year's time. So here's what I do to get that back. And I teach this to all my salespeople. When you think your day is done, and you think whatever it is, 5:30, 6:30 night, when you think your day is done, go put another 15 minutes in of what you consider at that moment to be your most important task. And then you just got it back. So there's a famous book that was written, 11 Words That Changed My Life. And it was from another salesman. He said, when you think your day is done, make one more phone call. And, in my world, truer words were never spoken. So do one more task, do one more email, one more text, respond to one more call, send one more message. whatever it may be. Make one more written note if you journal things by chance. Okay, and that's how you get that 15 minutes back and keeps you square from the time you may have lost. Okay. And then the last thing, if you do this and start with those 5 things and laser focus each and every day, within 30, 60, 90 days, I promise you, as we're sitting here, you're going to see a difference in your productivity. You can't help it, because all these other shiny toys and objects are going to go away when you don't let them in the room, if you know what I mean. Okay? Any questions so far?
So far, I think we're good. I see some people following along in the comments and adding color commentary, but I think we're on the right track. We're on a good track. No questions right now.
Okay, great. Now, what you can do moving forward, as you've heard me refer to, create that list of 5 most important things that you know you should be doing. When you go a couple weeks, a few weeks, a couple months into this, what you want to do is reassess those top 5 things. Maybe number 3 and 4 should be number 1 and 2. Maybe number 4 and 5 shouldn't even be on the list. And there's a couple other things out there that should be in my top 5. So you want to continuously focus on what your top 5 activities should be, if you can get to 5. If you can only get to 3 or 4, even better, because then you're better and better and better at those 3 activities, or 4 versus 5. But you don't want to do any more than 5. Otherwise, then we're kind of losing our grip a little bit. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right. So that's the essence. I tried to go through this as fast as I could of the stop doing list. I hope it makes some sense. And then if we want to shift over, Courtney, to time lost. Now, we introduced this briefly last week, and this is a biggie here. This is
yes, it is.
This. Okay.
Question before we get into this, just for the sake of just making it so practical, what do you recommend? And I know it depends on the person and the lifestyle and things of that nature. There's a lot of factors to this, but when do you recommend people create the top 5 or the most important 5 things to do at night, or should they do it in the morning?
It's so funny you asked that, Courtney. You're spot on. I mean, I don't. You're a genius. You're so far ahead of your time.
I know it's different strokes, because I know some people in the mornings they're just up and they're gone. Right? They have to do it at night because their mornings they get up and they have to have it already waking up, knowing it. And then some people need that gathering, right? Need that meditation in the morning to get that, collect their thoughts.
Yeah.
What do you recommend? And I know it depends on the person, but by large, what do you recommend? When do you recommend creating that list?
Well, to answer the question, whenever you have some downtime where you can think without interruption, so whether it's an evening, a weekend, if you got a free hour during the morning, during the midday, somebody that works midnights, they got time maybe during the day or late morning.
Right.
But what you have to preface that with first, Courtney, is you got to create that initial list of things you know you shouldn't be doing, the things that you got to stop doing. Like, that's right. Forgive me, you guys are way ahead of me on all this technology. Okay, I'm old school. This epidemic of scrolling, I hear stories about people that scroll on their phone for 2 hours a day. Now,
it's addictive.
You talk about a cancer.
Yeah.
That's a cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, you're scrolling on your phone 2 hours a day. So that's 14 hours a week. I mean, you guys do the math. I mean, that's crazy, what you could be doing with that. Now, if you have to, respond and send messages and respond and emails and text and messenger, you got to do what you got to do. But just for the sake of, you get wrapped up into these social media exchanges that go on for hours. I don't see the logic in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe I'm a little naive, So
I have definitely have to put restrictions on your phones and make it whereas you can't be on there for so long. But that's another conversation. But you have to put guardrails on it because before you know it, 5 minutes turns to 30, 30 turns into 2 hours, 2 hours turns into 4 hours, and before you know it, none of your 5 are done. Your top 5 are done because you wasted your time on those non-productive, non-value adding things. We just strolling.
Exactly right.
You got a decision.
I apologize. I sidetracked us there for a minute, Courtney. But to answer your question, I would make the list of the things you know you need to stop doing first. Whether there's 2 things, 5 things, or 50 things on that list.
That's good.
I'd make that list first. Then I'd circle back immediately. If you could do it in the same thought. Now, what are the top 5 things I know I need to be doing without fail every day and every week?
That's right.
Okay. Now that's what separates the rubber from the road right there. So what was funny about the timing of your question, I was just thinking about, I've actually got, don't laugh, a stop doing list part 2.
Oh man.
And you know what that is? You know
What's
what that
that?
is?
What's that?
So the first part of this is for our professions, our work lives, what we do for our livings, for our careers. Yep. This is our day-to-day work lives. Well, what about this? What if you get this to a point you are humming like a smooth engine and you've cut a lot of the clutter out of there and you are running now like a well-oiled machine, whatever line of work you may be in, male, female, young, old, whatever we do. So then you get home at night.
Hey.
And then the wheels come off the wagon.
Oh man! Oh, as soon as you walk through the door, it's a whole.
So then you created 20 more horrific habits.
Right.
Just completely dynamited all the great things you did. Let's say from 9 to 5.
Right. So it doesn't stop. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. It's not an on and off switch. It's not, I do this during 9 to 5 and then I do, because it's impossible to keep up with that. It's a lifestyle change ultimately.
Hey, so John, we talk about this topic is about with this specific segment that we're talking about right now is called time loss. And the way I like to explain to people is time is something that you can never get back.
Exactly.
It's something that's when time is gone, it's gone. You can't get it back.
Yeah.
Monetary things you can lose and you can eventually get it back. But time is something that you can never get back. So don't waste a lot of time is what John is speaking about. And being productive. Productivity is never an accident. It's always a result of commitment and excellence, intelligent planning, and focus your effort on whatever that you're trying to, whatever is driving that goal. You know what I'm saying? So the main thing is focus. And sometimes we need a little refocus. We need a little reminder like, oh, okay. Like you're scrolling on your phone and you just need that reminder. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to waste a lot of time, and you want to value your time and put the time needed to be productive.
Yeah.
Is basically what I took from it.
Very well said, Brian. Very well said and perfectly timed.
That's it.
For your comments there. So, yeah, I don't know if everybody can see it, but again, great timing, Brian. This is the sheet that we introduced last week.
Yep, I got it on the screen right there. I think they can see on us. I have it on the screen right there, so
yeah,
they can see it.
The numbers here, if you let this sink in, are utterly staggering. And I like to think I've got a pretty good handle on my day-to-day routines. I've been around long enough. I know what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. But it's amazing how much, like I shifted it to 20 minutes a day. If you waste 20 minutes a day, on silly stuff, okay, we all have little things we do.
Yeah.
One of my real estate agents told me the other day she's already flunked this test without even starting it because it takes her 20 minutes to blow dry her hair every day
We hope-
before we even get started.
don't
John, I'm
don't get
done.
us started, John. Don't get us started.
You know what I mean? No, she's an old friend. But look
Yeah.
at here. 20 minutes a day, you've lost 5 full days in a year. 30 minutes a day, and we're all guilty, okay?
Bro.
We lose 7 days. That's a week. 60 minutes a day, that's an hour. Okay, we're all guilty from time to time. 15 days a year. And 120 minutes a day, that's 2 hours. You lost a month. A month. Now, I can use the 13th month. I don't know about you guys. Then you go down here to the bottom. 20 minutes a day over 5 years, that's 25 days. Over 10 years, it's 50 days. Look at here, 30 minutes, 35 days, 60 minutes. 60 minutes in 5 years, you lose 75 days. That's over 2 months off your life.
That's tough.
Now, you know where I'm going when I see this stuff, just think about how much of those dividends that are compounding during that time can add up to. Okay.
Man.
We learned that last week. But look at here. If you squander 120 minutes is what? 2 hours.
Yep.
All right, well, let's do this simply. For 5 years, that's 150 days. That's 5 months. For 10 years, it's 300 days. That's 10 months. So that gets pretty staggering. But that was the whole purpose of this, because I usually follow the stop doing list with an example of time lost, because we don't even realize how these minutes and hours get away from us.
Wasting life.
Oh gosh, tomorrow's Thursday already. You know what I mean? And it feels like Tuesday because
Wasting life.
Stuff is going so fast nowadays. You know, I was telling you guys I got to speak the week after next to this college in Texas again. And we talk all the time about what these kids, sophomore, junior in college, still trying to figure out what they want to major in, not sure what their interests are. All the normal, college life anxieties. Now you throw internet, social media, and AI on it. I mean, they must think the world is just coming at them 200 miles an hour. Which way do we turn?
Man.
So that's why this is so critical. We can act as, us that have gray hair anyway, can offer a little bit of a bridge of support. You want to start thinking about this. You want to start looking out for that. I remember when I went to college, it was tough getting through college. I went to a pretty good school, and I had to study to the wee hours just to get through my business administration curriculum. But nowadays, you got all the normal challenges, but now all this other stuff coming at you at the same time. So it's a different world, and it's so fast moving. That's why this time lost is, I think it's just critical. So any questions so far?
No questions in the chat. You can drop your questions in the chats if you have them. I echo what you're saying. Time management is life management. It's managing your life. And when you put it in that perspective, it really takes it to another level. We all, rich people, poor people, successful people, unsuccessful people, all have the same 24 hours in a day. Exactly. We all have the same. We all have. That's the one even playing field we all have. We all have the same amount of time. Now, we may not have the same amount of opportunities, or we may not have the same access to different things, but we all have the same amount of time. Exactly. And that's where you can get the advantage in your life, is how you manage your time. Because while somebody may have more access and more opportunity, they may not have good time management. So your time management can cover the ground of not having the resources and the access as the next person. So that literally can give you the life advantage to get you ahead if you started a little further back than everybody else, right? And if you have it already, the resources, the access, the opportunity, you can squander it all the way with lack of time, like the backwards, right? But the same is true to the opposite. If you don't have time management or life management, you can lose it all. So this is very, very important because we're talking about our lives and our livelihood. So thank you for sharing this. This
No
is good.
problem, Courtney. Yeah, I'd say that's an excellent read on your part, a really good assessment because, I remember, and we've all seen this. Let's go back to the college kids for a second. Some kids graduate with a bachelor's degree in 4 years. Some take 5 years. Some take 6 years.
That's right.
Now, see, I'd have been in big trouble because I was on a baseball scholarship, so I couldn't afford to go where I was going. I mean, I had 2 part-time jobs while I was playing baseball, plus carrying 50. You had to have 15 credit hours when I went. God, that's a long time ago. To be classified as a full-time student. So I had business administration. That was a pretty well-to-do curriculum. But now you hear it takes 5 years, 6 years to get a bachelor's for some students. Maybe there's good reason for it. And then if you want to get a second degree or a minor, plus. So now the time thing becomes really magnified, as you say, Courtney, because now are you interrupting starting a very good career, or are you still probing, where do I belong out there? And
That's
it's,
right.
it's not an easy thing, which our last topic here, I think is going to be well timed because this is going to take some of the pain out of people, whether they're younger, middle-aged, older like me, that are still trying to find their way into certain parts of this whole process. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If it's okay with Brian and Courtney, let's go on ahead and let's switch to this one now. I get asked this all the time, and I'm sure you guys do too. And we probably ask ourselves this question all the time, regardless whether we're 30, 40, 50, or 60 years of age. We probably ask ourselves this question all the time. If I were to start all over again,
oh man, this is
what would I do different? Anybody ask yourself that? I've probably asked myself that 1,000 times.
All the time. Yep.
This is one of the most common questions every year. Like every New Year's, I think about this. I think about what I could have done differently.
Yeah.
Had I known what I know now.
Exactly. What do you get to be my age? So one of the things, I don't know here, Courtney, can we put this? Yeah, you got it right there. Thank you very much.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Number one, so I'm going to rattle a few things off, and it may be a little surprise, a couple of these to the listening audience here, but I can only go by, here again, if I were to start all over tomorrow, what would I do? Would I do everything different? I do everything about the same, make minor corrections, maybe a little bit of all of it. So here's my short list here. Number one, a couple of these may seem boring. Some of these may seem pretty earth-shattering. Number one is I would read more. I would read more. Now, I'm 65 years old, and there's a lot more runway behind me than there is in front of me, as we say, right? But do you know I read more now than I ever have? Because it takes you a while, and some are more adept in figuring out how things work. Not only finances and how to handle money, but a job, a career, an employment, where you live, the involvement of your family. If you're a parent, like I just became a grandparent. This is all life-changing stuff. So what would I do different? I would start reading more. Now, I've always considered myself reasonably well-read, but nowhere near what I could have been. So I used to travel before I got into real estate, and I started reading, sit on an airplane, I'd bring a book with me rather than just, those are the days when you had a newspaper physically.
Right.
And first thing I do is read the sports page. Had to have the sports, got to get all my scores. So I failed to stop doing this right then, right? I had to have my sports page. Okay. So I would read as much as I possibly can. And for the younger people out there, I hope you follow me on this. It's so much more accessible for you now. When I was younger, there was no internet. You had to go get books. You had to order a book, and they were very expensive. Get everything through Amazon. Buy used books. I mean, you can get them for $5-6 a piece.
Yep.
Eventually, you get them free because you get bonus points for buying them. I mean, these Amazon truck drivers are whipping through my subdivision here all the time. And they're amazing. So start reading. Remember I said last week, okay, you got your degree. If you're a college kid, forgive me for saying kid, everybody's a kid to me, right? Now you're going to enter a world of what's called real world. And that's not in any book. And that you got to learn the hard way, a little bit of school of hard knocks. You got to get your baptismal fire out there in the real world. So the best way to get ahead of that is to start reading. You find an area of a line of work, a curriculum, an area of expertise that really fascinates you, get on it. Go at it like your hair is on fire. Read everything you possibly can. Like you heard me refer to a couple of books last week, like to this day, and I talk about this book every single week, The Success Principles by the great Jack Canfield. I think he's sold 400 million books now with all the bestsellers he's done. This is like a Bible of personal development and coaching. It touches every walk of life: finances, personal development, relationships, family, spiritual thoughts. He covers it all. If you ever, there's very, very few things you can read in your life. And not to get off tangent, okay? Where you pick something up, like in this case, I can open that book in any chapter. I could start at the back third of this book and start anywhere I want. And it's an unbelievably fascinating book to read, where most books, you got to start at the beginning and work your way through it. This book is so well done.
What's that? Can I see that? I just want to put it in the chat. What's the name of it? The Success
Principles.
The Success Principles. And that's Jack Canfield.
Yep. Multi-million bestseller. He's written countless bestsellers. But when you read this book, you're going to feel like you got another degree.
I got it.
And this is a great first step, is to getting out there and learning that real world piece. Okay.
Thank you for sharing that.
All right. Now, number 2, you got to learn how to handle money. And that was obviously the bulk of what we discussed last week. You could be a straight A 4.0 student. You could be, help me out here, what do you call it? Dean's List, magna cum laude, all the words that I can't spell. Okay.
All that.
You could be an impeccable student and be the top of your class, whatever, medical, dental, sales, finance, whatever line of work you want to be in. But if you don't learn how to handle your money, you're going to come a point where none of that even matters, because you have to have your finances under control as you advance through life. There's nothing more important. Okay. So learn how to handle money. Number 3, now we're all guilty of this at some point in our younger years. Ask.
Oh man.
What I call the bashful Benny syndrome. We're too ashamed to ask. We're too bashful. We're embarrassed to ask what we feel like might sound like a dumb question. Well, I've never been afraid to ask. I got a lot of faults, but I've never been accused of being bashful or afraid. I drive people nuts. If something has me intrigued, I can't rest until I hear more about what that is. Okay, now I got it. Thanks. And, I got to turn that rock over as quickly as I can. And you can relate that, whether you're trying to find your way in a new job or you're trying to figure out what type of work do you really want to go into? What do you want to major in school? There's so many different types of choices now. So if it was me, if I had it to do, I would be asking relentless amounts of questions until I got clear pictures on things. You may have something in your mind that says, that's me. Or Courtney says, that's me. So Courtney says, I want to hear all I can about this area of expertise. And then you start hearing more and more about it. You say, okay, that's good. I got it. And then that may not necessarily really be my cup of tea after all.
Right. Everything starts with a question. Everything.
Yeah, it starts with a question. And then what happens is you start asking all these questions. You'll get an answer usually to the question, but then that triggers another thought and another thought, and another question.
Yep.
So you're 10 miles down the road in a different direction from where you thought you started, but it's productive because you're getting to where you need to be. Does that make sense?
Right. That makes perfect sense. And a lot of kids, especially our youth, and I'm teaching, I'm putting my parent hat on right now.
Yep.
Is like, that's the main part about being parenting that we have to equip our kids with before they leave the house. They got to know how to open their mouths and ask that question and get that clarity and get that guidance. I tell my kids the worst thing somebody can say is no. You can't be afraid of no. No is or it may not be for you, but you have to ask those questions, and you can't be so afraid of someone saying no or the opportunity being no that you don't ask, because you don't know what can come out of that. So a lot of our kids, young kids, young adults entering into careers and different things like that, they gotta be able to open their mouth and ask. And if you have that burning question in that meeting, raise your hand. And a lot of kids don't. They think their questions are dumb. Oh, I got a dumb question. No, you don't have a dumb question, because you don't know that. You don't know the answer to that, and that person has the answer to it. So I think that is a skill that's underrated and under talked about, is asking, because a lot of our kids, like Mr. Quarles put in the comment, somebody put in the comment, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Oh, great comment.
Can't get food in a closed mouth. Yep, I love that right there. Yep, that's good, Mr. Quarles. Thank you.
See, there's a thought here, and we've all heard the comment. There's no such thing as a dumb question. But get this, there's a driving force behind that comment, and you know what it is? Most people are dying to help you. People want to help you. So don't, for the audience out there that still has a little bit of what I call bashful Benny syndrome, they're afraid to ask. They're afraid to raise their hand. They don't want to sound silly. They don't want to sound naive about whatever the topic. Listen, ask away. Most people want to help. For the people listening to this podcast here, Brian, Courtney, and myself are doing this for what purpose? To help people.
Period.
We're a bridge. We're a bridge to get you from point A to point B, because we've been around a little bit longer. Especially I got more gray hair than all you guys. Okay. So ask us. That's what we're here for. That's the whole purpose of this. Ask until your uncertainty is completely resolved. And then boom, you're on your way. Then go on to the next one. It could be a little question, or it could be a gigantic question, but keep asking and keep reading. Stuff is so much more accessible now. I mean, you can read a book on your phone. I mean, that's incredible. You know what I mean? Anybody ever hear of Jim Rohn, the famous motivational speaker? I've listened to all his stuff. He's
Jim Rohn,
but the chairman of the board of our company, we have 90,000 real estate agents globally. AI redid the entire Jim Rohn teachings in one evening, and it was published the next morning on all our company inner office paraphernalia. in one evening, like 30 years of work. That's what AI can do, just to give you an example. So just read, read, read. And I tell a lot of the people that I teach and coach, it doesn't matter how much. Read a couple pages a night. Read 10 pages a night, 20 pages a night. Because like Courtney said, at 12:01 tonight, today's gone for good. So if you read 2 pages a day, that's over 700 pages in a year. That's probably 2 or 3 books.
I'll take it.
You follow me? And they're probably really good books, if the kind of stuff we're talking about here.
Yes, sir.
So some people, see, I'm a slow reader, but I don't mind admitting I'm slow, and I take a little longer because I want to make sure I can process it and understand it. And when I buy a book, read a book, I don't have to memorize the whole book. I'm looking for what? One thing. One thing. Now, I skipped over something here. Go back to number 1. I get a little ahead of myself, and I apologize.
Which one?
Number 1. See where it says read?
Yep.
Okay. Next to that, I have 1 aha per week. You know what aha is? You're reading or you're listening, or like here, you're hearing something tonight that makes you sit back and say, aha, I never knew that before. So put it simply, if you don't have 1 aha per week, you're not reading enough. Think about what I just said. So think about a quick lesson, whatever it may be. Aha, that's how that works. Aha, that's what he meant by that. Or aha, that's what my boss meant the other day at that meeting in our building. Aha. Now, once a week, 50 of those a year, that's pretty good learning curve right there. Okay. What I call an aha moment. So you can get it reading, you get it listening usually, but an aha is invaluable. Does that make sense?
I like that.
All right. Now, number 4. Number 4 is more important than the first 3 because you know why? Have you ever heard of an idea? You're driving or you hear somebody, oh, that's a great idea, Courtney. That's a great idea. Brian, that's a great idea. I'm so glad you brought that up. If we don't by the end of that night,
we gonna forget.
Write it down.
We go. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone. We all done been there.
Journal. I don't care what it is. I know all you new people. You got all these gadgets. You put everything in your phone. That's too fast for me. I got spiral notebooks all over my racks here in front of me. And I've been journaling stuff for 30 years. 30. And you know what? There's times I still refer back to some of the things because nobody can keep this little computer between our ears going that much with that much information, especially nowadays. That's right. When you get something that really gets your attention, write it down. And whatever works, put it in a computer, put it in a CRM. I don't even know how to spell CRM, but that's the going term. I know database management and all that, right? Okay, good.
Yeah,
write it on a napkin. Write it on a legal. I don't care, but as long as you save it and store it, because it's going to be valuable. And if you don't, by next week you forgot all about it. And then it dawns on you, oh, there was a great idea about that, and I forgot to write it down. Isn't that a shame? So journal, writing it down is as important as number 1, 2, and 3. You learn what it is, but now you want to save it, in your arsenal of information. So I think journaling is critical. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5. Now, a lot of people laugh at this, but there's nothing more important to this. The little things are the big things.
Hold on, let me give a sound. I gotta give a sound to that one. Hold on, I gotta give that horn. I had to. The little things. Explain on that. Expand on this. I want to hear this.
Now, Courtney, I gotta brag on you now for a second. I have seen you in a video with some younger kids. You explain to them the importance of making their bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? There's a book out there, and you guys may know where I'm going now. There's a 5-star military general. I don't know his name, but he wrote a best-selling book, The Importance of Making Your Bed in the Morning. He's a 5-star
what's his
ex-Marine.
name? I know you're talking about. I forget his name. I think I know you're talking about.
His story is so phenomenal. He says, because if you start every day with one good habit, that's going to lead to a second good habit and a third good habit. And when you leave for the day and you go do what you're going to do and you come back home, you know you can come home to a made bed and you feel real good about that, rather than leaving looking like an unmade bed and leaving your bed unmade. No pride whatsoever. And he went on and on about the importance of making your bed. And I said, holy mackerel, is he ever onto it? You know what I'm saying?
Powerful.
So the little things.
So true.
And we talk about, I love the graphic you did about saving the nickels and dimes on all those stock dividends, what that accumulates to. I mean, it's through the roof. But the same premise here, the little things are the big things. And that's why one of my other favorite books, The Slight Edge, it's the epitome of how little daily, tiny habits every single day accumulate to a mountain of gigantic success over time if you stay with it. So the little things are the big things to the younger listeners out there. Trust me, I cannot emphasize that enough, because you know, anybody that follows football, Nick Saban says it's the process. You got to follow the process to get the goal. The goal's nothing without the process. Well, the process starts with what? The littlest of things, making your bed, you know, reading a couple pages at night. Now, some days I still work long hours and it's 11:30 at night and I'm tired and I'm thinking about, I want to watch the end of that basketball game or whatever. But if I go to bed, we're straight up open and honest here as friends, right? If I go to bed every night and I haven't read a little bit of something, I consider myself incomplete. I've been doing it that long.
I got to get to that level.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be late at night, because I mean, I got one eye open at 11 o'clock at night. You know, I'm older now, but early in the morning, lunch break, middle of the afternoon, if you can find a little time each and every day to get some good reading in, none of the nonsense we don't need to see and hear, right? You will not believe that's like a second education for free. That's a second college degree. Okay. This book right here, forgive me for bringing it up again. You read this book, the first thing you're going to want to do when you're done is turn right around and read it again. It's that good. And it's probably 25 years old. Every now and then you read something that just blows you away. This guy's got it right here. And there's a million great authors out there. This guy is the Michael Jordan of, he's Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan in the world of personal development and branding and coaching. He's that good.
I gotta have the book. I gotta get it.
Yeah. And it's a little longer, but you'll see what I mean. Well, his first chapter, I've read it. So his first chapter is, we are each responsible for our own lives, meaning regardless of our upbringing, our background, where we are, where we live, what country we're in, a rural area, a city, you know, urban area, whatever the circumstances are, we are responsible for our own lives, nobody else. So he's like, there's no crutches. We all have the same opportunities, especially with all the technology out there nowadays that we never had before. He's like, go get it. It's out there for you. Go get it. So it's a great read. Number 6, saving the best 2 for last year. Number 6, cars, clothes, homes are not wealth for the younger crowd. They are spending.
Man, say that again.
Okay.
They don't want. I'm gonna put that in the chat, cars.
Okay, so here, and we all have gone through phases in our life. Okay, cars, clothes, homes, etc., are not wealth. They are spending. Is it really necessary is the point here. Now, let me go on to the last one because this furthers that point. Now, if you haven't heard anything yet, and what are we, a little over an hour here?
Yep.
This last point is going to hit like a sledgehammer. The United States has become better than ever at making money. And at the same time, the United States has also become the worst it's ever been at keeping it. See my
Top to the
point?
bottom.
And I mean,
That's deep.
with what we covered last week, those statistics
Right.
of the people in the worst of debt, no retirement.
Check the check, making six
That's it,
figures,
man.
but check the check. Man, that's
That's a sledgehammer right there. If you give that some thought. So we all are making more money now than ever in our entire lives.
yep.
But we're also spending it
Spending at an
and
alarming
not
rate.
making wise decisions with it worse than ever.
Yeah.
Like the tennis shoe story last week. I can't fathom having 20 pairs of new tennis shoes in my closet. I just can't. I can't get there in my mind. I've never had more than two. And I wore them all. When I wore them all. I still wear New Balance. I run my 4 miles every day. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, give me those 15 or 18 of those pairs. I'm going to invest it. I'm going to buy some more Coca-Cola stock. So, stuff like that.
Yeah, the rules of engagement have definitely changed, and they should change as you get older and you mature. Once you know more, you do better. And like I say, looking in my closet, I see shoes, but my maturity sees stocks now. I'm like, man, that could be.
Remember here now, our story last week. This gentleman here, this should be like framed in a lot of finance offices. Here's a man that worked for 40 years as a janitor at a school. Very humble work, but he loved his job. He loved his work. He loved the kids at the school. They loved him. He just kept taking, never made more than $45,000. We covered all that. So that would clear him, in the 30s, take home pay. But blue chip dividend paying stocks for 40 years ended up with $8 million. $8 million. So there's a gigantic lesson there, and
big time lesson.
So you get the point. But anyway, that last point that hit me like a sledgehammer, and then the one earlier about how do we lose $10,000? How do we lose $10,000? $27.40 a day.
Man,
you can almost spend that in a fast food nowadays, can't you? You can almost
easy. Easy. I mean, Chick-fil-A, once you get 2 meals, you're already past $20 on 2 meals. And if you got a family of 3 or 4, like you're well over that. Easy. Panda Express, same thing. Zaxby's, same way. Like all those mid fast food restaurants, not necessarily sit down restaurants, but like Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, those Panda Express, those you can spend 30 easy.
Yeah.
And that's not even including anything else impulse that you bought that day.
Exactly right.
So it's good stuff. Good stuff.
See, if you just shop generic, which you can save is staggering. You can set yourself up huge financially over the course of 15, 20 years if you just shop generic on what you can.
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, my weakness is potato chips or pretzels. If I got a good game on, I got to have a couple of chips to watch a game. So it doesn't have to be Lay's triple cheese, super duper. That's
you're paying for the brand at that point. You're not you're paying for the brand. It's the brand. It's the upcharge of the brand.
And it's $12 a bag, which is half filled, versus Harris Teeter brand or Walmart brand or Food Lion brand, which is a third the price. So
Let's get
give
it.
me the $8 left over, and you know where I'm going with it. Okay.
Mm.
There's only one brand that I violate. Forgive me, listeners. It's this one right here. For good reason. That's the only
Coca-Cola,
brand. But other than that, I mean, the
your
older
part
I
owner.
get, I just want to get sharper. Like, when we talk about losing your money in that $10,000 thought, the people that buy the lottery tickets, you walk into a gas station, they're buying these lottery tickets like that thick. I've never
Man.
bought a lottery ticket in my life. I just don't
Oh
get it.
man. Oh man. That
But
don't even
anyway,
get me started with
any
that.
questions?
Oh, I think we're good. I think we're good. They're following along. People are coming in and out. I
Okay.
think we're good. Any questions? Common sense is not common. Okay. Any drop? I'm gonna drop any questions. Drop any questions. We will do our best to.
I got a thought for while we're just talking here. Just thinking ahead, Courtney and Brian. I know we hammered through a lot last week in kind of rapid fire pace. I
Yes,
got a
sir.
couple things in mind. If you guys are open to it, we can do another session where we can start at very beginning building blocks, ground zero on this whole investing thing. What is a share of stock? How does
Yep.
it work? What
Yep.
is a dividend? And maybe let that sink in one more time.
I like it. I think we left some meat on the bone. We got people curious, if you
Yeah.
will, about it, and people want more of that. So I think that would be very, very thoughtful on your end and very beneficial for the people who show up that
Yep.
want to engage in that. So yeah, I think that'll be a good one.
I'd be happy to do it. So,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
guys,
Yep.
that's about all I had tonight.
Okay.
I'm always available if you're putting my number on the screen here. Thank you, Courtney and Brian.
Yep.
So I'm always available. If anybody has a question, a problem, a concern, I'm here to help any way I can.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much again for the stop doing list. And you went on, if I were to start it all over again. I
Yeah.
thought the stop doing list. I think this one right here is something I'm gonna digest this very, very well. The journaling, the aha per week. Oh man, I remember all my aha moments. Like
Do you
those are the
really?
things that you remember. Those are the things that just stand out. So to have those moments is so powerful because you remember them, and
Yeah.
those they change your life in a sense. So thank you so much for just making it so plain
Oh,
and
you're
just being
welcome.
so
Thank you again for
straightforward.
having me, Courtney and
It's
Brian. You
very
guys are
digestible. It wasn't clunky. It was nice and smooth. It was basic. It was practical. But again, the little things are the big things.
they
And
sure are.
taking this in, it's the little things, but they are the biggest things. And these are the things that we have to implement
Mhm.
in our life to start not just the financial piece. Like if you don't have this stuff, all the financial stuff is not gonna stick, right? Like this is the
Exactly right.
stuff that's gonna help the financial stuff stick. It's like building a house. It's like, all right, let's put the floors in
Yeah,
first
that's it.
before we start building the walls and the windows and the roof. Like this stuff right here is the mindset, the foundational mindset shift
Yeah.
that we need as fertile ground to put the financial stuff on top of that, because we don't want to just give you all this financial literacy, financial advice, and you don't have the foundation to build on or to go by. So this is good. Thank you. We
That's
appreciate
exactly
it.
right, Courtney. Well,
Yes,
my
sir.
pleasure. It's always
Yes,
great to
sir.
be with you guys, and look forward
Yep.
to doing it again. And feel free anytime, reach out to me.
Thank you so much. All right. Have a good night, Mr. John. Thank you so much.
You
All
too. Thanks again. Bye bye.
All right, good people. I hope you took some notes. This will be on replay on YouTube as well as Facebook for those who just want to go back and just watch it, listen, and learn. Again, We're bringing people on this platform, ordinary people that's doing extraordinary things. John has made a commitment to come on this platform and to share 40 years of financial business life experiences with us so that we can have these things and we can implement them how we see fit, right? We eat the meat, spit out the bones, as I like to say. And I know that this can start you on the path to not only financial wealth, but mental, spiritual, and physical health. That's our time. We'll see y'all. We're going to take some time off. We got Mother's Day weekend. Spend time with your mother, spend time with the loved ones, and then we're going to pick back up next week. How's that sound? Y'all have a good one. Let's ride.